This is Sven Larson reporting for Pixels and Pills from ePatient Connections, and I'm here with Fabio Gratton, who's the Chief Innovation Officer for Ignite and one of the pioneers in the social media for social health movement. Welcome, Fab.
Thank you.
So you spoke today, Pekakucha style, about the gamification of the pharma industry. Tell us a little bit about what you spoke about and some of the trends you're seeing.
Yeah, spoke a lot about gamification. Well, not a lot, 20 slides, 20 seconds. Talked about gamification and health in general. And really just one of the things that has been a little bit frustrating for me is, the complexity of really explaining to people what's a game for health versus what's gamification and what are game mechanics versus game dynamics or gameplay. And so it was really, part of it was really just kind of an educational endeavor to try to clarify what gamification is and really explain about the differences between the application of those game dynamics to non-game environments, which gets really confusing. When we first started in this industry, we used to do a lot of games for health, and it was, we'd look at what's being done in the game industry, and we'd say, hey, how do we use that same game style, game play, and then like layer educational messages into it. And hey, because that's effective and people are enjoying one thing, this other thing can be really fun. And I think it worked while it was kind of clever and innovative and different. But I don't think it's the best use of really the understanding of the foundation, of the fundamentals of what makes games engaging. So it's just about having a high score and blowing things up. That's not really what is making people driven to that next level. And that's what I was talking about, was that kind of sense of epic meaning that really stole that completely from the Nancy McGonigal, her book, that reality is broken. I mean, she makes a great point about like, how do we bring that epic meaning, that sense of a goal, of leveling up, of progress, how do we bring that into the real world? And if we can use that kind of mentality, what kinds of problems could we solve? So that's really what it was try to do in 20 slides today.
Fascinating stuff. Your talk was probably one of the most retweeted of the conference. Why do you think this subject just engages people's imaginations like this?
Well, I didn't know that, but that's cool to hear. I mean, first of all, everybody loves games, and that's where you already start with. You could have there is a whole Games for Health conference. So, I mean, I think games tend to be fun. They tend to be engaging. A lot of people, if it's a game, it's not work. So I think there's just a general kind of fascination with the topic. I think that also, I think a lot of people recognize that if you look at the different businesses that are really succeeding right now, there's the game layer, as Seth from Scavenger refers to, this kind of game layer that's happening on top of reality that is really working. How people are really looking at this kind of check-in model and this kind of progress to something and this leveling up. And I mean, it's a model that's been there for a long time. We've seen reward programs for like airlines and American Express and Platinum. And I mean, you're always leveling up, right? It's just that I think technology and the pervasiveness of it makes it pretty much that almost anybody can kind of, there's whole companies that just help you gamify stuff, so it's that big. And so I think that in healthcare, because we know healthcare is so broken, I think a lot of people see it's a huge opportunity to, change behavior, change how people think about health, how they take their medications, how they get educated, how they stay engaged, how they emotionally get supported. I just think that in a space where nobody's really figured much out, healthcare, where we're still all trying to learn, I think a lot of people are looking at this as, this could be something really powerful. Plus, it is a little overhyped in the media too. I mean, like social media was a year and a half ago. Now game everything, right? So I think there's an element of like, this is the hot new thing. So I'm also careful not to be, once again, it's the new bandwagon. What are we gonna and what's it gonna be next year? So, but it's an exciting topic. It's something I personally just love anyway.
Sounds like a really important trend for us to be watching, though we'll make sure that we don't believe all the hype that comes around it. So thanks so much for talking to us about it today.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much, and you guys have a good day.
Thank you. We'll see you soon. This is Sven Larson for Pixels and Pills from the ePatient Connections Conference 2011.